Are there ever things you stay away from discussing on social media because you married a white man? Hey everyone, welcome to The Cole Life. We asked you all to give us some questions because I feel like there's a lot of new people in our community that have not been here and maybe don't know us as well.
Yeah.
So we asked you guys to give us questions. Give us a ton of questions, top to bottom, open book. What do you want to know? And there were some themes around the questions.
And we wanted to really focus, because there was a plethora of questions, we really wanted to narrow down like
Plethora. It's a good word.
No, I gotta agree. But we really wanted to focus on marriage, family, and race. And we're gonna do some unique questions about, some of you guys talked about YouTube. Some of you guys want to know about my natural hair journey. So we're gonna talk about those a little bit later. I do wanna talk about my hair, y'all. But this is what we're gonna focus on now, real quick.
Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and hit us up on Instagram @_thecolelife_.
Let's get into it.
For those of you that are new, she likes to say that a lot.
We're just gonna answer this one question that a lot of people have been asking. Are our parents still living with us? Brian's mom and dad have been living with us since last year, and they are moving to the house next door. They're actually building a house right next door to us.
They are still here.
Yes.
The building process has been almost as painful as our building process was.
Yeah.
Which is very painful and very slow moving because of COVID and contractors being annoying and all of that. But I would say realistically, definitely in the spring they will be moving in.
Prayerfully,
there's some good updates.
Prayerfully.
In fact, we'll do a YouTube video about updates on the house because, you know, once it's like getting real close.
Yeah,
I would say by May.
Yeah.
So one of the questions was, what was the toughest thing you guys went through as a couple? We actually made an entire video off of this very topic. I think we called it like our biggest argument or something. So we'll put the link right here so you guys can watch that video. But it's definitely a lot more in depth than just a simple answer.
Yeah, I would say that was one of the hardest times of our marriage. If you are interested, you can definitely look at the link, but it's way more than a quick answer.
Short answer, 2020.
2020. Now that you all have settled in your role as parent and spouse, do you ever miss anything about being single?
So Lexi and I were talking about this last night. And we had just got back from a movie night, a little date night together. And I was just sharing that, you know, there are moments of nostalgia. Like, I would never give up my life and our dynamic now as a father, as a husband. I would never give it up for anything in the world. But there's moments of nostalgia where you're like, man, as a single person, I could just have the freedom to and the flexibility to go somewhere and not even have to check in, or just have the flexibility to go play basketball and then go out to eat and not have to, you know, let someone know where I am.
You
or
be out like, you know, super late. And it's not that we can't do those things, but I think there is like nostalgia of like not having as many responsibilities. And maybe because as a single person we were younger, so we didn't really have like crazy jobs where we had to do all this work. Like it was, you know, life was just, you know, we were teenagers. So maybe it's different as an adult, but this is what I remember. Advice to those that are waiting and are in their waiting season is, I can't stress this enough, enjoy your single life. And I'm not saying that in a sense of like, oh, I miss being single. I'm saying that is part of the reason why I feel I have a healthy marriage is because I enjoy time with myself. I do enjoy the times where I can do stuff on my own. I'm not always clinging to like my husband every single time of the day. Like, oh, I don't know what to do with myself. I don't know what to do with my life, because all you've been doing is waiting for your husband to come. Like, you don't want that. You want to enjoy who you are, enjoy your single life, and then you can go into a marriage happy, whole, you know, healthy.
That's it. I think that we were both whole individuals before we came into a marriage.
Yes.
And so we had our own hobbies. We had our own identity. We had our own fun and lives.
Yes. And it's not to say that, you know, being single is not hard and you don't feel alone, but be around people that are also living singleness well. I've been saying that since I've been asked this question many times, and that's really what I say. Be around people that manage single life well.
I know you guys talk about race a lot and how y'all navigated it early in your relationship, but has there been anything recently with race that you've had to work through? Would love to hear about how it was resolved. I love that question.
Yeah.
Because it's very easy to talk about like, oh, we've overcome something, but we're in a better place. But are there any things that currently you guys still have to work through? I love that question.
I think that I feel like there's a few things that I'm thinking about of how we handle like maybe some of the hate on social media when it comes to, you know, how people feel about us being together. And we've actually had conversations of what are things that I should address versus Brian should address.
I think that's a big one. Mm-hmm. That's probably the biggest that we've recently been talking about is there are certain... Lexi and I are on the same page with 99% of racial issues.
Yes.
When it comes to us both having the same opinion, though, and how we present that opinion on social media, a lot of those opinions don't come across the right way if I present them.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'm a very vocal person. I'm a very opinionated person. I have, you know, I really want to share my thoughts. But in a lot of cases, there's certain things that coming from me, it wouldn't necessarily be the right vantage point to present. It would more so come from her. It took me a second to even personally realize that because it was like, well, we both feel this way or we both agree on this, but who it comes from is very important.
Yeah, and I think that because we are on social media, we're having more of those conversations. And this is just to show you that even though I feel that we have grown a lot and we have learned a lot when it comes to racial topics, still have to learn how to present, how to talk to you guys, how to make sure that we're communicating effectively to our community. So that's huge for us. I think that's the biggest thing.
It's typically how are we presenting our opinions to the world and what that means and how that reflects back on us or me or her.
I really do feel that I appreciate you for being like that, because a lot of times people can see that as people can be defensive about it, but the fact that you've grown like really understand that, I feel like that's something to talk about. But yeah, please speak on how you guys set boundaries with your in-laws. Share practical examples, please. At the end of the day, I think we are an anomaly, but I also think that we've had, issues with in-laws before, and we have definitely been strong on setting boundaries when it comes to speaking, talking about issues with Brian or talking about issues with me. I would say the biggest thing that we have done is have each other's back. I'm feeling some type of way about an issue that was said or done by the in-laws, then I think Brian definitely steps up and helps me guide that situation.
We will go to war for each other.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, like, she is me, I am her, we will go to war for each other.
Yeah.
Not that we have to, or not that it's often at all. Again, we are very much an anomaly with our relationship with our in-laws.
Yeah.
It is a very healthy relationship, and there's so much love there. But to Lexi's point, there are certain things that if it's my parents that she is hurt by or has an issue with, then I need to step up and take the forefront of that and bear a little bit of that, right? And not just letting her kind of handle it with my parents.
Yes, because not to sound strong, but that's coward. That's a cowardly move. I feel like if I'm struggling with something with the family, then it's not like, oh, I'm gonna let you handle that on your own. No, like, we're gonna handle it together.
Present a united front.
And we're gonna present a united front. That's how we handle boundaries. We present a united front. My family said something to Brian and it was offensive. I'm not gonna let him talk to them. I would like to say, like, no, that's not cool with me either.
Now, we are also still vocal with our in-laws.
Yes.
So we're not just letting our spouse handle all the battles either.
Yes,
absolutely. We are both vocal. We're very close with both parents. So, there's no issue there. I think, though, when it comes to especially like my parents living with us, they are so accommodating and so easygoing. We had a couple boundary conversations in the very beginning as far as, hey, there's certain times that we want the upstairs to ourselves because they live in our finished basement. There's times we want to just be together. There's times where we'll want to all be together as the four of us, but sometimes we got to have our alone time. Like, we just set the expectations up front, and they are just very, very gracious. So.
Yeah, they are. And I would say, because I feel like maybe most people are talking about just having conversations or setting boundaries when it comes to kids or when they come over. And I think that we're just pretty upfront. We say, like, no, you can't just You can't just do these things and expect us to be okay with it. You need to talk to us. You need to communicate. And that's what we do. We communicate.
Are there ever things you stay away from discussing on social media because you married a white man?
I think that there are things that I give other people space for. We were talking about this before, trying to explain this in the best way, but I know that I am black. I know, and I'm proud to be black. I have black experiences. I have brothers, all of that. I think that I try to let people talk about issues that they relate to more. Like, for instance, if a black woman and black man, they're married, they have more of a conversation of, you know, them worrying about their husband coming home late because of the police. I struggle with that with my brothers. We have those conversations with me having a black dad, but because I'm with a white man, I don't necessarily have those same conversations. So when we have those conversations, yes, if somebody were to ask me, I'm absolutely open to talk about it, but I also like to give space for a black man and a black woman to talk about their experience being a minority together, because I think that's important.
Allow me to make this disclaimer though. When it comes to our children, we are having that conversation.
Yes, absolutely.
So Lexi does not necessarily need to worry about my experience with the police because I'm white, or my experience being out late because I'm white. But when it comes to our children, we are both educated and very much aware and talking about this issue and how we will educate and teach our children who will be perceived as black.
Yes.
So putting that out there.
Yes, and we have a link to talk about that as well. So we'll post that. Are either of you getting heat for being an interracial couple? I was often bullied because I was interested in white boys. I love diversity of all relationships, period. Love all races. But here to support you, my friends. Lovely fam. Thank you.
And I have one very similar. How does Lexi respond to less positive feelings, thoughts about being with a white guy?
Because times are changing, I feel like I'm getting more heat than I did when we were dating. I feel like I got more like looks from white people than I did from black people. Now I feel like I'm getting a lot more hate from black people than I am from white people, because I'm with a white guy. Like, I posted this video about me being proud that I was black, and somebody commented like, how can you be proud that you're black but you dated a white guy?
Like,
I was like, oh wow, so I can't be proud. I'm definitely open to people's opinions, and I even asked the person a question: does that mean that I can't be proud to be black because I'm with a white guy? Like, I'm trying to understand the logic, and I'm definitely open to having conversations. There are times we get bullied. It doesn't really affect me much. It's just a wow moment of where we are with the times. Like, it's really shocking to see how people view me because I'm with a white person. I don't blame anybody, but I can see how people can assume that I purposely searched out a white guy. And that was not my case at all. Yeah. I've dated black men, I've dated all different types of men. To think that about me, I get it, it makes sense, but that's just not who I am.
I think, funny enough, when we were dating, we didn't have a big social media presence. So the stares were in person when we went out to restaurants, and the weird looks, but that was 10, 12 years ago. Now I don't feel like we get much of the stares anymore. Like, when we go out, I don't notice it as much, but social media is where we notice it, because that's where people with very staunchly different viewpoints feel free just to share their thoughts, right? Which is what social media is about. I would say though 95% of our community is positive oriented, right? But then there's the 5% of trollers and whoever else that just has strong opinions in the negative, that those comments that we have to think through and deal with. But
I'm okay with people having an opinion as long as it's not rude, just trying to say things just to hurt people. I'm definitely open for people asking questions and trying to understand, if that makes sense.
So this one's kind of interesting. Hey, we said ask anything.
Wow.
List 5 things you don't like about each other. When I showed this to Lexi, I was like, I'm not comfortable just being on social media and saying 5 things I don't like about you. I would rather us say 5 things about ourselves that we know are not attractive qualities. if you're cool with that.
Let's do it.
I don't know if I can come up with 5.
Yeah, I don't know if I can.
I'm pretty great.
Okay, here we go.
I'll do as many as I can.
All right.
I
can go first. I think when I'm excited, I can be very loud. I can be very loud. Like, I can be very loud. I don't know if that's like, if I was on a first date, I don't know how people would take that.
Sometimes I love it though. Sometimes I'm hype right there with you.
No, Brian is just as loud. He's just as loud. I'm thinking of like a first date. I guess that's how I'm looking at it.
I tell dad jokes sometimes. Sometimes they hit, sometimes they miss. They mostly miss. It's okay. Lexi gets annoyed at my 3 alarm clocks in the morning.
Whew! Woo! Man.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
3 alarms. Do y'all do that?
I like
Let us know in the comments, man.
I like to progressively wake up.
3 alarms, y'all. 3 alarms. I think when I'm getting ready, I can literally throw everything everywhere when I'm trying to get somewhere. I'm like, gotta go. Gotta get it out.
All right. We'll stay in that vein. When I get ready, I literally move in slow motion.
Slow motion. But it is like Brian will just sit and walk around.
I'll be taking off my jacket.
Think about life.
I really do. Like I'll be in the middle of getting ready, and I'll just pause and go.
I would say that's 3. I think that's good.
That's good enough.
Yeah, because that's too long.
Someone asked, "What are your professions?" Lexi handles our social media full time. God has blessed us tremendously to not only do this because we love it and we love sharing our story and our testimony, but to also make it an income earning profession. So she handles the social media, the business side of it, and a lot of the posting, editing, and all the fun stuff. I'm just like the comedic humor here, you know. I'm like
you are not. He is so much more. Don't let him talk like that. Y'all tell him don't talk like that, Brian. No.
We work together a lot.
Yes. All right, fam. Thank you so much for listening to our questions. Let us know what you think. I would love to hear your responses on some of the comments when it came to us being in an interethnic relationship. Put your comments below. We love you guys. We appreciate it.
I think this Q&A is a perfect representation of how we are. We love to have fun. We love to be light. We also love to talk about serious topics and deep stuff too. So if you like that and want to hear more, make sure you like, comment, subscribe to our channel, and
peace out.